Alright, well I'm satisfied with the sound, so let's proceed. I'm gonna pick human because I want to dual class, especially my main character. Well, you know, actually, let's do a quick overview of all the classes. That'll probably take a little while, but what the hell. Fighters! The main thing about fighters is you can use pretty much everything in the game, and you can also take advantage of Grand Mastery, which, when you've unnerfed it to actually do what it says it does instead of nothing, it really does shine. You can get up to about 5 attacks using certain items, and that will allow you to improve haste yourself up to 10 attacks and basically run around pretending you have Greater Whirlwind, I think around level 15 or so. Using the base fighter kit is basically a waste. Anything you can do with that, you're better off using a Berserker for. The main reason for this is this Enrage ability. This stuff is kind of nice, but the really important thing are the immunities. So you get immunity to Charm, Confusion, Fear, Feeble Mind, Hold, Imprisonment, Level Drain, Maze, Stun, and Sleep. Maze and Imprisonment are big pain in the ass. Level Drain's kind of a pain in the ass, but not really. But Maze and Imprisonment can really ruin your day. This makes fighting the Demi-Lich kind of laughable. Both of them, I think there are only 2. But it makes it pretty simple. So that's nice. This other stuff is okay, you know. No need to look a gift horse in the mouth. And the disadvantages are laughable. Become winded after berserking. By the time you become winded, everything should be dead. And you can't get 2 proficiency points in like ranged weapons, but why would you do that to yourself? There's so many good weapons in the game, and if you really want to use ranged weapons, just pick the archer kit. Wizard Slayer is terrible, basically. Every time you hit somebody, they get a 10% cumulative spell failure, but most casters can only take 1 or 2 hits anyways. Especially since we'll be dual classing this guy into a Berserker Thief anyways. He'll be one-shotting them with backstab, so that doesn't matter. The magic resistance barely matters. Sometimes it's useful, but not usually. Oh, but the disadvantages. So, you can't use any magic items except... what is it? What? Except for weapons and armor. That is horrible. That precludes you from using so many good items. Your armor class is going to be so low because you can barely equip anything. You know, all you can have is armor and nothing to modify your armor class besides your armor. Terrible. Kensais are interesting. They can't wear armor, can't wear gauntlets or bracers, although you can still wear gauntlets. Like, I don't know if that's a bug or what, but you can. Not being able to wear armor, it could be pretty bad, except for whatever reason you're allowed to equip a Robe of Vecna if you multi-class or if you dual class to a mage. I think that's the only way you can do it. If you dual class to a mage, you can wear the Robe of Vecna. It'll set your base AC ridiculously low. So this is pretty nice, and these bonuses are really, really good. The -2 AC combined with the Robe of Vecna sets your base AC at about 2, which is really good. And combined with the hit and damage, you can really massacre some people. The speed factor thing, a lot of people like. I don't really care. I've never noticed a difference. The Kai ability, I suppose it's good. I don't know. I don't really use it too often. Seems completely unnecessary. We're gonna go with Berserker though. Like I said, we're gonna make him into a Berserker Thief. And we'll cut to Ranger. Alright, next up we have the Ranger kits. Rangers are basically weak fighters, especially in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, which is what this is based on. Ooh. But they have some interesting things going for them in their kits. So we'll start with the worst one, Beastmaster. Enhanced Stealth ability, meaningless. Enhanced Spell ability, also meaningless. Animal summoning is just bad. Like all of these spells are terrible. And their disadvantages, you can't use metal weapons. I guess you can probably still use the Club of Detonation, would be okay, but everything else would just be abysmal. You don't want to do this to yourself, guys. Stalker, Stalker is kind of like a thief. It gets the backstab multiplier, it gets bonuses to your stealth, and you get access to haste, protection from normal missiles, and minor spell deflection. This is basically useless. One of the things about Rangers that's kind of useful is if you multi or dual class like a Ranger Cleric or a Ranger Cleric, that's it. You get access to all of the Druid spells up to level 7. It's kind of a weird bug in the way the game calculates what you're actually able to use because of how it handles holy spells. But really, there's no reason to do this. Getting a 3x backstab multiplier, if you have an assassin with a 7x multiplier that can wear the same armor, use the same weapons, you're definitely better off. And the minor differences in the items you can use are irrelevant since you can still only backstab with thief weapons. So this is kind of a joke. If you're playing the normal game, Valagar gets this and it's not bad since there are no thieves that are good at backstabbing, basically. Archer, however, is one of the most abusive, probably. Probably one of the most abusive kits. +1 to hit and +1 to damage with any missile weapon for every 3 levels of experience. That means if you're at level 40, you're going to be getting +10 to your damage, and your odds of hitting are going to be nearly 100%. That is incredible, viewers. Don't disrespect that. And every 4 levels, you get the called shot. And actually, I never really used this, but I believe these are all cumulative. So if you hit like -1 Thaco 3 times in 1 round, they're going to be at -3 Thaco, you know. And this +2 to damage always applies, so that's pretty good. You can only become proficient in melee weapons. That means 1 dot. You can never get 2 dots, which is what Rangers can normally get. But that, you know, there's not much difference between 1 and 2 dots. It matters a little, but you can't wear metal armor, but then again, if you're being hit, then you're probably screwed. So that's it for the Ranger class. Oh, and don't bother with the default unless you're going to be a multi-classed Ranger Cleric. Then it can be okay. But next up will be Paladin. Alright, and back to Paladin now. Paladin's a pretty impressive class, mostly because it has one of the best weapons in the game, the Holy Carcimer. It gives you ridiculous amounts of magic resistance. It can cast Dispel magic, I think 3 times a day. But anytime you hit something, it casts a spell as long as, I believe you have to do a single point of damage to get that effect. So if they have Stone Skin, it won't dispel Stone Skin, or especially if they have protection from magical weapons, it won't do anything. But you can just use the dispel on the item, or you can use the best kit probably that Paladins could possibly hope for in the Inquisitor. It can also just cast a spell level, but there's a big difference. When you use items, you only use them at level 10. So your Dispel Magic will hit like a 10th level character, which will usually against things like Liches and pretty much any spellcaster will give you really bad odds of dispelling stuff. However, the Inquisitor, when he uses Dispel Magic, first off, he does it at speed factor 1, which means he basically instant casts it. And second, he casts it at twice his actual level. So if you're level 10, it's like a level 20 Dispel. That will destroy pretty much every enchantment in the game. Anything they try and protect themselves with, they're screwed. It's slightly outclassed by Remove Magic from somebody, especially with a Robe of Vecna, that can get their spellcasting speed factor down low enough, but really, I would rather use my wizard's level 3 spells for more useful stuff like Haste, Skull Trap, stuff like that. And there's really no need for it, especially once you learn how to aim with the Dispel. So that's cool. True Sight, also amazing. A lot of spellcasters go invisible and it's a pain in the ass. Also Thieves, big pain in the ass, but with True Sight, you can basically just laugh it off. Immunity to Hold and Charm, again, very nice. Charm more so than Hold, but still both are very useful. And what do you lose? Well, you can't instant heal yourself, but who cares? You can't cast like up to 3rd level priest spells, again, who cares? And you can't turn undead. I don't think I've ever turned undead. Undead Hunter. There are a lot of undead, I guess. So +3 to hit and damage versus undead. That's marginal at best, guys. None of the, like, especially even the liches and vampires, their AC isn't that low. Immunity to hold, you still get as an Inquisitor, so who cares? Immunity to level drain is more of a convenience thing. Yeah, you know, you should have at least one cleric who can either negative plane protection you to oblivion, or you can just give a single person something that grants them immunity to negative plane protection and just have them go massacre everybody anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, I don't know, Undead Hunter is like a weak Inquisitor in my eyes. Cavalier, oh, this one's a little bit better, I guess. +3 to hit and damage against demonic and draconic creatures. They're pretty hard to hit, but I typically don't deal with dragons by attacking them. You want to trap dragons to death for sure. You can cast Remove Fear. Who cares about that? You're immune to fear, charm, and poison. Charm, like I said, is better than immunity to hold. Immunity to poison, again, mostly a convenience thing. These 20% resistances, don't matter too much. Definitely want to go with the Inquisitor, the base kit. All you get are some spells and lay on hands, so don't even worry about it. And that's it for the Paladin. Next up, we got the Cleric.